Our train is waiting departure to Poland. Anti-Semitism has a very long tradition here. So that's what we come out of here thinking. We think this fellow is prejudicial.
I'm not prejudiced against him.
Well, this is one of the last remaining symbols of oppression in this city. The driver's still cool, but the camera crew really got the shits. And it's only day 4. My father's mother and my father's sister were murdered here.
Yes, that's AustenTayshus, whose real name is Sandy Gutman, going back to the country of his parents' birth, Poland. So what happens when you take an angry Jewish comedian back to Poland in search of the Holocaust? You get circumcised again? Maybe not. Keep watching.
We have a lot to offer the world, and what people don't realise is if Americans, say you're on a cruiser on the Barrier Reef, and you're doing a bit of a tour around there, and some Americans are on board and they want to go snorkeling, and you've had a few joints. I mean, my inclination would be to say, now that's what the world doesn't hear, and or if you're in a backpackers hostel in Childers, and some Australian psycho decides to burn it down, the backpackers, because we have 14 Malat boys running around, unaccounted for, on the backpacker patrol. And so if you're walking around Belanglo Park and you think Ivan's in jail, think again.
AustenTayshus back with you live. We've been in Poland for a week now, and my journey really is to have a look at my family's, particularly my father's family in Poland before the war, where they were, where they lived, and what happened to them and what happened to the Jews of Europe. Well, I think Poland's just coming out of a communist era of something like 50 years where it was a fairly repressive society. And there's a lot of skeletons coming to the surface, and we're here to open some coffins. Right in the middle of Warsaw and straight across the road is a bunch of skinheads selling skinhead literature, and there's a lot of people stopping to buy it. And they're outside the church of the Latter-day Skinhead. So, what do you think that's all about?
Because we don't understand that sort of extremism here. The only extremism we understand is road rage. We don't understand political extremism. We understand, get out of the way, you
In the archive in Lodge, we saw some documents that were of my own family.
O, to jest wuj ojca.
That's the birth certificate, is it? There were marriage documents, there were birth documents, there were this and that, several documents from my family.
This is a permission to build the factory.
This is zgoda na budowanie fabryki. And now we're waiting for a bureaucrat to bring us some further documentation of the factory so we can get the factory back and we can set up a textile manufacturing business in Poland.
Here we are. Here it is. Well, there's nothing. The brick, that's old brick.
Yeah, that's old. So this is the car park of the factory of my great-grandfather, Alexander Gutman. Is this part of the think this is part of the factory?
Absolutely.
We're in the middle of what possibly could have been the textile factory of my great-grandfather. Now there's nothing here. What's the story? Is this was my great-grandfather's property here?
To była własność jego pradziadka w XIX wieku.
Proszę pana, firma Motozbyt kupiła to w 94.
The company, the Motozbyt car company, bought it in 94.
Bought it in 94, yeah.
Tak, i my
Bought it
jesteśmy
from
połową. Texo.
From the Texo plant. Upholstery.
Right. But will
upholstery.
you tell her that I've come back to take it back?
On wrócił tu, żeby zabrać swoją własność.
A to już jest nasza własność, teraz to nie wiem jak to teraz będzie.
I don't know how it's going to be because we also own it.
The textile factory. Panie Gutman, the new owner is back. Start to relax.
Cieszymy się bardzo, że...
Get a few days grace, and then we take over and
We are
repaint the
very
factory.
happy you'll come back.
Thank you.
Because it will be funny.
We'll be back, and we will be treating you very badly. Well, this is the apartment building that my father was brought up in. I know they lived here, but I don't know which.
Oh, maybe they rented it.
Maybe they did, yeah. I don't know. But why don't we just go and find one apartment, just knock on the door of one apartment, go up in the lift and knock on the door. We're just trying to find the apartment of my father.
It's a weird place, I'm telling you right now. I don't know what's going on right here.
Dzień dobry, najmocniej przepraszamy. He never heard
The name Gutman?
Gutman.
And so can we go in here?
Można tu popatrzeć?
Proszę, proszę.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Tu zostało.
The decor is a little bit different
Trudno
now,
będzie
so
cokolwiek
it's
znaleźć.
really hard
Starych
to.
pamiątek nic nie
I mean,
pamiętam.
Bo tu jest
this painting from
wejście,
Dr. Zhivago is
a drugi jest od Narutowicza.
pretty wild. So
I tam też są duże mieszkania, tak?
it's beautiful what you've done here. You've done a lovely job.
Bardzo ładnie tu pani to wszystko urządziła.
Beautiful room. It's very pretty. It's very pretty. This room.
trying,
It's very
trying.
pretty. It's a real showpiece. This is fairly run down, this place, sorry. I actually think that whole building was my grandfather's, and it was in a much better state than what we found it yesterday. There's dog shit everywhere here. Hey? I thought I would feel something, you know, that there was some sort of remnant of our life in that apartment. But what we found in there was, I don't know, what was it? I mean, it was Polish kitsch. There were 3 apartments in the one apartment, which I think that the communists made 3 people live in it, or 6 people, 3 families live in the one apartment. At the time of my father's childhood, that was just one big apartment with, you know, a mother, a father, and 6 children.
I got a Chinese mate. He said to me when Pauline Hanson was really riding high, he said, "The white people have moved in my suburb. All day they play sport all the time, sport. When they finish playing sport, they watch sport. They teach the kids sport. Everybody plays sport. They never relax at all. They can't relax. It's hard to relax at all. It's sport. Or they molest the children, or they punch the wife out, or they drink all the time, drink in peace. It's hard. No people can relax.
When we got to the second building, I really lost patience with having a look inside. You know, I just was too depressing, really. I just went into the courtyard there and I screamed out my grandfather's name. It was more of a symbolic thing for me, you know. Panie Gutman! Panie Gutman! Where is Mr. Gutman? Did you ask the man? What did he say?
No, he didn't understand.
Yes, he understood. What did he say?
He didn't say anything.
Yes, he did. Where is Mr. Gutman?
In Israel.
In Israel. Gutman in Israel. Alexander Gutman! They killed him. Is that who said that? Who killed him? Say that, ask him. Kto go zabił? Kto go zabił? Kto go zabił? Alexander Gutman! In 1930, he owned this building.
W latach 30. był właścicielem.
I will take this building. Bye-bye. did the Jacek cameraman, you know, house thing, and we met his wife and his dog and his father-in-law.
Also, but on the 3rd of September 1939, just as war started, I moved to Grujec, which is south of Warsaw.
And in that town, how many people were Jewish?
There were 5,000 Jews living there.
Nie pamiętam, ale 5,000.
He was a very cultured, reasonably cultured fellow who presented a point of view which was was a bit more of a worldly point of view.
Chodzili do synagogi.
Yes, they went to synagogue.
Była drewniana synagoga.
There was a wooden synagogue.
I była żydowska szkoła.
And there was a Jewish school.
And you went to school with Jewish children?
Ale pan chodził też do szkoły z kolegami Żydami?
Byli tacy, którzy chodzili do szkoły żydowskiej i część młodzieży żydowskiej chodziła do szkoły podstawowej polskiej.
There were some Jews who went only to the yeshiva, and others went also to the Polish primary school. I did it.
Oh, okay.
The Germans, the moment they entered, destroyed the synagogue and the school.
What happened to the Jews? Where did the Jews
I co się stało z Żydami?
Przez jakiś czas wszystko odbywało się normalnie.
For some time, nothing happened.
Przepraszam, musieli nosić
They had to wear the
opaski
special sign,
i każdemu Niemcowi mundurowemu kłaniać.
and they had to bow to every uniformed German.
The father-in-law filled us in on his relationship with Jewish people, which appeared to be less prejudiced. And I feel that he was pretty open with us.
We had hard times in our
Które
history.
z pewnością panu są
And you
znane
know them as well.
nawet w okresie powojennym.
Even after the war, we worked together.
I nie zawsze myśmy wiedzieli, że z
And we
tymi,
didn't know that many of them, of our co-workers, were Jewish.
bo część Żydów napłynęła, jak pan wie, z terenu Związku
Some Jews
Radzieckiego.
came from the Soviet Union to Poland and stayed after the war.
I podobno nakazano im zmieniać nazwiska na
And they
polskie.
were told to change their surnames to Polish.
W związku z tym nikt nie
So
dochodził tego, kto kim
we
jest.
did
prawda?
not investigate. It wasn't important.
To nie było ważne po
It
prostu.
wasn't important.
Auschwitz stands as a memory to barbarism and inhumanity on a scale never ever seen before, and it happened in the 20th century, in the 1940s, when Clark Gable was swooning with, you know, Carol Lombard, when there were telephones, where there were cars, where there were televisions, where there was radio, where there was everything. And it was created by the German mind, by the civilization that was responsible also for Schumann and Schubert and Bach and Beethoven and also Mozart, and because Mozart came from the same country as Hitler. Mozart came from Austria, and the Austrians were very anti-Semitic, but Mozart created some of the most beautiful music I've ever heard. Where do you get from Mozart to Hitler? How does that happen? Here is Arbeit macht frei, which is the first German joke, and designed again to lull people into a sense of complacency and thinking that they were going somewhere to work rather than to be killed. So. Excuse me, are there any Jewish guides, any Jewish people taking people through here? Or is it only Polish people, Polish guides?
Polish.
Only Polish guides. My father